Today, I'm going to go over some little things that I really like about GTA 5 on next-gen consoles. The very first little thing is going to be the different graphic modes. Now, when I first booted up my PlayStation, it was set on fidelity mode, and I was like, honestly, this looks pretty great, because I was used to playing on PlayStation 4, and I wasn't really used to playing at 60 FPS on console while playing GTA 5, obviously. And I was like, it's pretty great. But then I switched it to Performance RT mode, and I was blown away. I was like, wow, this is actually like playing on PC, but just on console, and it felt amazing. I loved it. And then I switched back later to fidelity mode, and I was like, this is terrible. This is the worst thing I've ever done in my life. I hate fidelity mode now because it feels so terrible. I really don't know why Rockstar actually added that, because if you play on Performance RT mode for just 15 minutes or even 2 minutes and then switch back to fidelity mode, it feels like you're playing at 15 FPS. It's so terrible. It feels like your entire life is lagging. It just does not feel great whatsoever. So I'm really glad they did add these performance modes to GTA 5, just because unlike on PlayStation 4 when they did the port over from PS3 and Xbox 360, we didn't have that stuff. All we had was PlayStation 4 GTA 5. At least now we have the ability to change it. If we don't need to see 4K quality, 60 FPS, beautiful gameplay, you could just focus on performance and still have an amazing game to play. So I love that Rockstar added this, and it's just these little things like that that really do make a big difference. Next up is going to be the camera angle and FOV of the Cyclone 2. Now, as you guys know, if you were to drive this vehicle, the camera angle is way further out than it is with any of the other regular cars in the game. It feels like you're driving a large vehicle, like the Bruiser or a bus or even a plane. The camera angle is really far out. At first, I didn't like it, but I'm actually starting to like it now, and the reason why is because it's just like increasing your FOV from 50 to 90, for example. And it's great because I could see so much more around me compared to driving practically any other car in the game, and that will definitely help while playing GTA 5. You definitely got to get used to it. It'll probably take like 15 to 20 minutes to just be like, okay, you know what, I'm good with this. But then when you actually start driving other cars, you're like, wow, this is really zoomed in. You cannot see as much. And I actually really like it now on the Cyclone 2. I do wish they just allowed us to change our FOV, because I think that would have been better. And I still don't know if this is a little bug that Rockstar is planning to fix in the future, or if it's permanently on this car and they did it for a reason. The main reason I love it is literally just because I could see so much more around me, and I've been asking for that for a while in GTA 5. And now we kind of have a little taste of it with the Cyclone 2, I guess. So at first I didn't like it, but now I'm actually starting to really like it. Next up is going to be the modes for the Cyclone 2. You bring it to the LS car meet and you upgrade it, and you'll notice instead of just having turbo tuning, which obviously no electric cars have because they are electric, you can put a different type of mode on it, which is kind of cool. From standard all the way to race plus, which makes a huge difference. I love that they added that. I wish they added it for other electric cars though. Now obviously I don't mean adding all 4 different types of modes, but just simply add standard mode and then race mode. It would be great to have done on every other electric car in the game, because it would make sense now. If they're going to add it for this car, add it for the other ones. Because we don't have a turbo tuning option for any electric car in the game, but all the combustion engine cars all have it. Another little weird thing, I guess, is the fact that it still has an engine upgrade in an electric car, an engine in an electric car. Just doesn't make too much sense. I thought they would change that, but I really, really like how they added that. And I hope in the future we see that for some of the other electric cars in the game. Like I said, I'm not talking about having all of the different types of driving modes. I just mean adding one simple mode for the cars that they don't want upgraded at how's special works. I think it would be a great addition to the game, but I do love how they added it for the Cyclone 2. Next up is going to be the Rockstar Editor export quality. It has finally changed to 1080p, which is great. It's kind of crazy to think that even in 2022, just a couple weeks ago, we were still exporting videos in the Rockstar Editor in GTA 5 in 720p. That is crazy to me. I can't stand watching anything at 720p anymore. It hurts my eyes because it just looks terrible. So I'm glad they finally updated it to 1080p, like, 5 years too late, I guess, but it's awesome. There is some issues that do arise with this, though. After you're done editing your video and you decide to export it, you hit export, and then the video starts playing and takes like a couple of minutes to actually export. Then you go to your media gallery and you see the video there. We still can't actually put it on a USB stick, which is super annoying. I don't really know why Rockstar feels so special that they get to do this, but obviously you take a look at the info and it says 1920p by 1080, which is great. Thank God it's not 720, but then you decide to play the video and you look at it and you're like, what just happened? Why is this 30 FPS? I don't understand why we can now do 1080p quality, but we can't actually export 60 FPS gameplay at 60 FPS. It's going to be 30 FPS, which is terrible because nobody wants that. It looks terrible. You play at 60 FPS, you edit the video at 60 FPS, but you don't have the option to actually render it at 60 FPS, unlike on PC where you could choose between 30 and 60 FPS. I'd be okay with waiting double the time if my video quality would look a lot better. So I wish Rockstar would do this in the future. What we actually have to do is something like this. If you want it at 60 FPS, you're going to have to actually kind of crop out the HUD, which gets really annoying because then you got to go back into the game and change all the different camera settings. Because obviously, if you don't do that, everything is going to look too zoomed in. Plus, this also ruins the quality of the video. It's not 1080p anymore. I mean, it is, but now you're zooming into 1080p, which reduces the overall quality of the video. And you can see it doesn't look as great now. I uploaded a video a couple days ago where I actually had to do that, and I hated it. I had to spend like an extra half hour redoing all the camera modes and things like that. It just gets really annoying. I do love the fact that we could finally export at 1080p quality, which is great, but I hate the fact that we still can't put it on a USB and transfer it to our computer, and I hate the fact that it's still not 60 FPS. So obviously they could improve on some stuff, but I'm glad that little thing was updated from 720p to 1080p. Rockstar honestly reminds me of Apple. The technology's been out there, we all know about it, but they do it very, very late when everybody already expected that from the game. Just before we end off the video, let's take a quick look at this video's sponsor. If you love playing GTA Online, but you've been getting somewhat bored of it recently, why not check out Grand RP? They are one of the most popular RP servers out right now with almost 10,000 players active across all their servers. They also have a huge selection of cars, over 350 in total, and new ones being added almost every single month. Unlike in GTA 5, you can join a bunch of different types of organizations in Grand RP, like 5 different types of gangs, the police, the government, or even work at a hospital. If you guys want to play, click the link down below in the description, click start playing, choose your server, fill in the information, and click register, then download the launcher and start playing GTA 5 in a way you've never experienced before. The final thing is going to be increased payouts for MC businesses and an increased safe capacity at your nightclub. My favorite thing is the fact that Rockstar decided that they're going to be making more of these adjustments in the future. We don't know when, but they said they're going to be doing it, which is great, and it's not just for payouts, it's for a bunch of different stuff in the game, which is awesome. Now, MC payouts have been increased by 20%, which isn't a whole lot, but it's better than nothing. And the nightclub safe is now $210,000 instead of $70,000, which just allows you to spend more time in the game grinding for money instead of going back and forth between your nightclub. Obviously, MC businesses are still terrible. They don't pay out a lot of money at all. In order to buy all the businesses, it's going to cost you millions of dollars. And they still don't pay out that much money. Obviously, the worst ones are still the worst, and the best ones are still the best, but you take what you can get. It's definitely a benefit for us, especially if we own MC businesses now. We just get a little bit more money, which is great. They did also state that they're going to be making adjustments furthermore in the game across all platforms, which is awesome. They didn't forget about last generation, but they did say that they're going to be making some adjustments to vehicles used commonly in PvP combat. When you think about that, vehicles, PvP, Oppressor Mark II, yeah, so that's going to be great. They're definitely going to be making some changes there. Either they're going to make a bunch of other vehicles a lot stronger, or they're going to make the Oppressor Mark II a lot weaker, which I think is awesome. So hopefully we see that in the future. I guarantee they're going to do something with the Oppressor Mark II or some other armored vehicles and stuff like that in the game. I would assume it's probably going to end up being they're just going to reduce the damage the Oppressor Mark II does, or they're going to reduce the missile capacity, or something like that. I don't know, but I have a feeling that is coming very soon across all platforms. But anyways, those are the things that I like about GTA 5 on next-gen consoles. All of this stuff is honestly pretty great when you think about it. Comparing this to how it was on PS3 when they ported it over to PlayStation 4, there's a big difference. Obviously, they could have changed some other little things, like maybe changing the map to a real satellite map, which is obviously out there, and I think would have been cool. And I've heard other people say they could just, ask for permission from someone that created a mod or pay them money and then kind of remake it and make it official and put it into GTA Online, because some modders out there have created some truly amazing stuff for this game. So I don't really know what we're going to see in the future, but I am definitely very excited, and I think Rockstar is going to surprise us, and honestly, it's going to be pretty great. Anyways, that is pretty much going to wrap the video up for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you went on to enjoy it, and with that said, I will catch you guys in the next one.